today? Have you slept? Have you eaten? Are you well? So, I've come back from, I had my hydrotherapy today and dragged myself down there because I still felt like I'd been hit by a truck. But since I've had my therapy, I feel great. And this is part of my problem. I'm supposed to come home and rest when I get home. I haven't. I've been doing some more washing. I've been packing things away. I've put on 2 big pots of food for my doggo. Chopped up all the veggies. There's rice cooking. There's turkey in there. There's all sorts of goodies in there. Other stuff too. But anyway, I digress. I want to do a bit more to this little pincushion. I thought I was done, but I've decided to add a little bit to it. I'm just tucking that thread under there. I don't want to cut it off. So you'll probably notice I've added a bit of yellow in here. It's just to add some colour more than anything. And I thought I'd add a bit of pink and green as well, again just for colour. These are iris threads. I've had these for years. I'm kicking myself now that I didn't buy more. They were at the time very cheap, inexpensive boxes, big boxes. There was quite a few colours in each box from Kmart. Quite a few years ago I was working at the art studio when I bought them, so it's been some time since they were around. I wish they'd bring them out again. They've been really good threads. I didn't buy, I think I only bought 2 boxes and my mum bought a box because they were so inexpensive. We sort of suspected they wouldn't be real good, but they actually are. They're pretty well the equivalent of Pearl 8. And they're not bad thread. So I'm getting to the last of them, to be honest. I'm running out. But actually, maybe I should add some purple too. I think that's a better purple, isn't it? So let's do some pink and purple, hey? I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. Once again, okay, I've got a different needle today because I misplaced, and that fella is going to start his motorbike up. It's a bit early in the week for him. He usually doesn't come out until later in the week. Put my glasses on. Going to give him a bit of a clean. Hopefully he's done with it for now. I don't like my chances. Goodness, they're very grubby. I learnt quite a few new exercises at hydrotherapy today. We had a new therapist and she taught us quite a few new ones which were good. They're stretching me, which I like. Okay. I actually think now, I'm wondering whether I should do the purple. Which bits am I going to highlight? So far I've just tacked these stems down with the yellow, and I did a little bit of, I didn't do French knots, I just did a couple of little straight stitches in there. The reason I didn't do French knots in there is because I thought if you're sticking your pins and needles in, it'll be difficult to get through a French knot. So, where will I put the pink? Okay, coming up through the back. Let's come up here. Make sure our tail's tucked in. We don't want to see that. And I'm going to just try and do a little holding stitch here. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm just wanting to add a bit of colour. That's all. but I'm not sure where to put it. I'm just pretty well experimenting here. And I'm basically just following, these stitches may be a bit too big. I don't like big chunky stitches like that, especially in a pincushion. Maybe I need to do more of a, over each of those bars might be a bit more satisfactory for me. Yeah, I don't know what I think of that. They're not as visible now. Oh, it's not too bad. It's the lighting's not great today, I'm sorry, it's raining. I'm basically just doing back stitches over those crocheted bars, and because I don't want to hide the crochet either. I'm just trying to add a little bit of colour, and I'm also trying to catch the wool, but I don't want to go all the way through the back. I've got a knot, so let's undo that before we go any further. Now I'm trying to be mindful that I'm not pulling this too tight when I'm going across to a new section, or it'll all get distorted. I didn't, yes, did I? Yes, I did. I was going to say, oops, I didn't want to go out there, but that's alright, that's what I wanted. I thought I was inside those bars for a second. Ah, I didn't go up there, I went up there. There we go, that's where I didn't go outside. And I'm not really, I'm trying to be consistent in which ones I'm doing, like keep them in order, but I'm forgetting some. I've pulled a bit of yellow silk through there. I've got to try and remember to keep it in the shot so you can see what I'm doing. That would be good. Gee, it's getting cool. I'm thinking of all my friends overseas that are going through difficulties at the moment. I hope you're all safe, and I hope you're dry as well. We haven't been through hurricanes, but we've been through some pretty extreme weather events ourselves, so I can empathise. Certainly not what you guys are experiencing. Interestingly, not that you probably care at the moment, but it's only yesterday I thought maybe I should look at getting myself a generator. There's some fantastic ones out there at the moment, but gee, they're expensive. We don't often have extreme weather events. not that put us out of, not that destroy our homes anyway. Not, I mean, they have happened, but we're in about the middle of spring here at the moment, and usually, well, in previous years it's been quite warm and dry, but this year we're having a very wet spring, which is a bit unusual in recent years. I think, though, from memory, it might be back to what it used to be. When I was growing up, we used to have showers in summer, in the afternoon, nearly 5 o'clock. You could nearly set your watch by the afternoon showers. We'd have a big sun shower that normally wouldn't last more than 10 minutes, and then that was it. And then we'd have another one the next day. But that doesn't happen anymore. I think where I live, we used to have a couple of big mines sitting off not far from here, and I think the fact that they cut big holes out of the ground and removed all the vegetation, I reckon that would have had an impact on the weather patterns. Of course they're rehabilitating, but you know, it's not the same, is it? And then of course so much what do you call it, so many new estates are going up, it's crazy. They're not far from here, probably not even 5 k's away. There's a rail line, and along that rail line, within a distance of about 2 kilometres, they're planning on building 2 high-density apartment blocks. One of them will have 6,000 units, and one will have 5,000. And then right next to it, they want to put in another 3,500 home estate, and they've not long finished building one right next to it. And I mean, I hate this sort of progress. I hate seeing the bush get taken away. I hate all the masses of people in one area. But what concerns me the most about this is we don't have this infrastructure here. We need to have more roads, bigger roads, wider roads, more just different things. It's, you know, the traffic. In the last 2 or 3 years, I've noticed to get, for example, when I go to my doctor's, if without traffic, it's a 25-minute drive. With traffic, it can take nearly 2 hours, sometimes longer. And the other thing that fascinates me, we have a lot of bushfires around here, and these new estates they're putting in, this particular one that I'm speaking about, that's been extended, or they're planning to extend it, there's one road in, and there's already, I can't remember if it's 3,500 or 5,000 homes that have been built in the last 5 years in there. They want to add another 3,500. There's one road into this estate, and that's it. There's no other exit. So what are they thinking they're going to do if a bushfire comes along at that entry point, or near that entry point? Those people won't be able to get out. And I'm just flabbergasted that council's allowed it to go ahead. It's just, yeah, it's fascinating. I'm a bit gobsmacked. Even now, as it is now. if there's a fire up that side, they can't get out. I mean, so far there hasn't been a massive, big, out of control running bushfire or grass fire. We've been able to get them out, but if it's like if we have a big running fire, they're not going to be able to get out of there. Anyway, it just fascinates me that the council thinks it's acceptable. So, still just going around doing little stitches over these crocheted bars just to give it some colour. More than anything, I just wanted a bit of colour on here. I don't even know if I'm going to like this, to be honest. It's the way it's looking at the moment. I'm not overly fussed. I'm starting to think I should have left it. But when I watched Kate's little cupcake pincushion, she layered up vintage crochet and fabrics, and I just couldn't get it happening the same. My head would not process that. Whatever I tried, I didn't like. So I thought I'd try this instead. What else can I talk to you about to bore you to tears while I'm stitching? I can't even think today. I usually have plenty to say. Oh, I do have a bit of show and tell. Maybe I could show you that to break this up a little bit. It's nothing overly exciting. I ordered some this is a bit funny. I wanted some hexie papers so I can do some little hexies on some of these pin cushions or needle books or whatnot. And I didn't read properly. I thought in my head I wanted, either 1 inch or smaller. I certainly got smaller. This is what I've ended up with. I've got 2 packets of these. I think there's supposed to be 100 in each packet. I wonder if it says up here. Yeah, there's 100 in each packet. They're 8mm, so that will be fun. And I got these, and I don't remember ordering these because I don't really need them. They're not the prettiest of colours, that's for sure. They just look a bit washed out to me, some of them. Like, how can I explain? That, I suppose, is supposed to be black, but it's almost a dark purple. There's a dark purple there. I think that's supposed to be black. They're not as... Is it worsted? Is that the word I want? Tight. They're not as tightly twisted as these ones. I can see that. I don't know if you can see that through my poor old monitor. And the white, they just look... I want to use the word grubby. They're not grubby, they're not dirty. But some of them just look a bit grubby to me. But anyway, I'm sure I can put those to use. And I did get some more neons. So I've got quite a few neons now, and I really like these neon stranded cottons. I've been happy with those so far. I bought some of this. This is a fly tying filament, but I thought it looks like Angelina, and I use Angelina when I'm spinning. So there's 3 different colours there. We've got pearl, holographic pearl, oxide, and violet. So to buy these in Angelina, Last time I looked, it was really expensive. I've still got Angelina around. I love it. I usually buy, when I've bought Angelina, I usually buy the one, I can't remember what it's called. The one, some of them melt, some of them don't. So the melty one, you can iron it and actually create a fabric out of it. And I also got some of these. There's two different ones here. I got these to put on my zippered pouches and in the needle books that I'm doing. And I ended up with a heck of a lot more than I thought I'd ordered. So, with little zipper pulls. Got, I suppose that's a hydrangea. All the hydrangeas have come out at once. Lavender, I guess. Lavender one. I think that's an iris, or a bunch of irises. Don't know what this one is. I'm not familiar with that flower. I believe these would... Oh, I thought sunflowers, but maybe they're a daisy or a... I'm sorry, that's not picking that up very well. More hydrangeas. There's a few different ones. Is that all of them? That might be all of them actually. All the different ones. And I like them too because they just sort of course I haven't got one here to show you. They just clip onto the zipper. There's a zipper pull and look at the, isn't the clip pretty? It's a heart shape. So I got those. I got a lot of those. I think I've ended up with at least 20 of those. I've got 4 or 5 sets that turned up and I didn't remember ordering that many. Got those, and then these are a little bit different again. And you know what? I didn't order roses. I thought about it and I kept putting the roses back because I didn't like the colours, and now something I'm working on's got roses. Okay, this one's a bit different. It's not as florally, I guess. So we've got a black cat, another little black cat in a coffee cup. The zipper pull catchy thing's different, but it's still a little, so it's still okay. Here's a white one. White cat. I think these are really cute. We've got a little cherry blossom. I've got some I bought from Beck at So Be too. I've got those here somewhere. They're really cute. I've got a little, I think I bought a bluebird. I can't remember if I got 2 or 3. There's a little rose with a diamante in it. I don't know if this is another cherry blossom with a little diamante. Little daisy, pink daisy. Another cat. Another white cat with the daisies on it. A big purple, well, it's not a daisy, I don't know, daisy chrysanthemum. And then there's a little rose attached to it with a diamante. I've got another one of those, the same. And then this, I don't know if that's supposed to be a cherry blossom too. That one's pretty, that's pearlescent, that enamel. So I got those, they arrived today. I think that's all. I got another couple of pairs of swimmers for hydrotherapy as well, so here I am thinking, I'm sure there was more than that. There were swimmers, but I'm sure you don't want to see them. It's amazing how quickly you go through your swimmers at hydrotherapy. I don't know if it's the chlorine. It's not. How can I explain it? I believe it's probably a saltwater mineral pool, because it's not, you can't tell there's chlorine in it. But it seems to strip and deteriorate your swimmers very quickly. So I've only been going for I think 3 weeks, and my black and pink swimmers already have big white bleach patches in them from the pool. And I come home, we rinse them off. We have to rinse ourselves off when we get out of the pool before we go to the change rooms, before we get in as well. And as soon as I get home, I wash them in the washing machine, and they're still getting stripped. So, and it deteriorates the elastic, the elastane or whatever it is in them, the stretchy bit. So they become not stretchy quite quickly too. When I'm at the end of this colour, which is not going to be much longer, if I haven't got enough to finish, I won't rethread this colour. I'll go on to the next colour and see how we can get it to look. I just don't know what I think about this now. I'm not sure I like this colour. Not well, the colour over the crochet. I'm not convinced yet. Gee, it's cool here today compared to what it has been. We had was it last weekend? No, the weekend before. Not the weekend just gone, the weekend before. We had 2 or 3 days of 30 plus degrees. It was 31, 32 one day, 38, got up to 38 one day. Would you believe? My sister has a heated pool, a beautiful heated mineral pool, and on the 38 degree day it was still too cold for me in the heated pool at my sister's. Isn't that ridiculous? I'm so used to the 35 degrees in the hydrotherapy pool now. When I get in the 25, it was actually 29 degrees at my sister's that day. It was painfully cold and I couldn't get in. I tried. Ouch, got my thumb. You know what I'm doing? I got my glasses out to wear. While I was showing you those things, I stuck them on top of my head instead of on my eyes. I was standing there stitching with the glasses on top of my head. What a goose. I've had... Do any of you have a veggie garden going? This is my... Well, this is the first year I've been sort of semi-serious about growing. My tomatoes I planted. I put the seeds in about this time last year and they all germinated, and I ended up with hundreds of tomato plants. So I gave them away, I sold them, I still had heaps left, so I ended up just dumping them in my side garden. And my side garden was a garbage garden. It just had piles of gum leaves and weeds and things in it. It hadn't been cared for in years. And I just dumped these poor tomato plants in there. And would you believe they've grown? Nearly 12 months later, they're covered in fruit, absolutely covered in fruit. I had never previously even considered letting them grow over winter. And one of the fellows that came to buy some from me said, "Oh, I just let mine grow all over winter." And I'd never thought of it, so I went, "Oh, I'll give that a go." And it worked. And I think I've got the best fruit I've ever gotten, ever, of these tomatoes, these wintered tomatoes. They're incredibly sweet. They're beautiful. Most of them are just little cherry tomatoes, all different varieties. And what else was I going to say about them? Oh, the ones at the front garden here, they died off. So what I did, well, the leaves all died. So what I did, I pruned all the leaves off. Well, left a couple on the ends so they could still photosynthesize. I'm not going to have enough to do that. And then gave them a good feed over winter, and they've come back, and they're covered in fruit. They're fabulous. I'm getting handfuls of fruit off them every day, off one little vine at the moment out the front. But my poor zucchini, they're flowering, but we don't have any European bees around. They were culled a couple of years ago with the varroa mite, and they still haven't come back. I haven't seen any here at home at all. They were all euthanized. I do have, the native bees have come back, so I've got the tiny little stingless bees in my garden. And I haven't seen them over at the zucchini or the cucumber, but they're in the nasturtiums. They're usually in the finger line. They haven't been in the finger line. What will we do with the purple? Don't know whether to go around the outside or... I had some, what are they called? Snow peas. I finally got snow peas to grow this year, and I was so pleased with myself. And I gave them a good feed of Rooster Booster, and I burned them all to death. I've got to remember not to do that. I thought it was well seasoned. I thought it was safe to put on, but it wasn't. And I burned most of my snow peas. Not sure how to do this because this is a bit of a long bar here. I don't know if this will work. Just sort of twisted that around there. Maybe I need to actually just do... That might be better if I do a couple. And again, I'm just doing this to put a bit pop of colour on this, on top of this crochet. That's pretty well all I'm wanting to achieve here. It's getting difficult here because this is where I stitched them on yesterday, and it's quite condensed in there. Don't know if I'm going to get that through. Ah, there we go. I'm still not convinced I like this yet. Stuck that straight into the back of my thumb then. I'm trying to catch a bit of the wool and then go in between these crochet bars. I'm not convinced I like the look of this. But I do that sometimes and I think, oh, I don't like that. And I persist and I keep going. And when I get to the end, most of the time, it's not too bad. But, yeah, I'm still not convinced yet. I'm just wrapping this bit of the bar this time. I'll catch it down here. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So what I'm going to do, I'll unpick that. I've had another thought. I'm not happy with how that looks. I think for me it's too inconsistent and irregular. It's not a nice looking finish with the purple. So I might use it to blanket stitch around the outside of these petals. I don't know yet. But I was thinking also of putting some green stitches in here. I'm just using the needle to try and unpick these stitches that I'm not happy with. Trying not to pull at the wool or the crochet because we don't want to have pulled threads. It's a bit challenging, but especially when I can't see what I'm doing. Right, I've got to remember to do that last pink bit too. How? Let's see if this will work. This might be too thick to do this with. It might just look too chunky. So now I'm just going to try and do a blanket stitch around here. And again, all I'm really after is some colour. I don't know if I'll be happy with this either. Yeah, look, I've got a knot. I want to get started. I haven't forgotten about I should bring that out and show you in case you're wondering. Haven't forgotten about my stitch along, my vintage textile stitch along. I've actually set it aside for a bit because I'm struggling to think of where to move next with it. And instead of just sitting around doing nothing, I'm moving on to something else. And I don't know about you, but I find if I get stuck a little bit or I'm starting to doubt what I've done, I need to put it down for a bit and come back to it later. I know some people that have many projects going at once. I don't usually have many, although in saying that, if I dug out all the ones that I've started over the years that I've never completed, there probably is many. But normally I'm usually only working on 2 or 3 at a time. Sometimes a couple more, but I try and keep it manageable, or I get overwhelmed, or I forget what I'm doing. Sometimes I get too excited to move on to the next idea. I get another idea, or I see another idea, and I think, I've got to have a go at that. I need to do that. I get too excited and move on with that one, and then forget about the others I was working on. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that looks better already with the blanket stitch. That looks much better. So I was hoping to have started a needle book today, but I still haven't pulled my fabrics for that. I still haven't thought about colours. I'm thinking I seem to have enough material to do one that's got quite a bit of yellow in it. Yellow is one of my least favourite colours. Yellow and brown really I'm not fussed on, but I know that there are people that love yellow, so because I've got some yellow, vintage yellow fabrics and some vintage yellow embroideries and things, I'm thinking I might do a yellow one, or not all yellow. I'm going to have to break it up a bit or it'll be too much. So I'm much happier with this done in the blanket stitch around this crochet. These crocheted medallions. So I will continue, I think, doing that around the outside of this. Considering I just wanted this to be a quick little pin cushion, in theory, I probably could have just left the crocheted medallion on that and that would have been enough, but I like to, if someone's going to buy this or if it's going to go in a huswife or something, I think I need to put a bit of effort into it. It sounds like people are arriving home from work. Right, well, I'll try and finish this tonight, so I'm not boring you with that. I'm planning on, I might do some purple in here somewhere, don't know where yet or how. And I'm planning on doing, I don't know how again either, I'd like to do some green in here somehow to make it look a bit like leaves. I've just had an idea how I could do that. Then, if I do that, should I do everyone? Or I just thought maybe I should do some needle woven picots to create leaves. But then I don't want to do them in between everyone, do I? That'll be too much. Anyway, we'll see how we go. The other thing, see, this is where I've got all these ideas or all this inspiration and want to do this and do that and do that. So I've got this little one on the go. I've got this on the go. I want to get a needle book started or a huswife, probably a needle book I think to start with. in the same vein as what Beck of So Be Curated has done. Similar sort of thing, certainly inspired by hers. And Huswith, what was the other thing I just thought of? Oh, and Kate of Kate in the Nest is making these long, thin pin cushions, which I would never have thought of, but I wouldn't mind giving that a go either. I just don't have a lot of fabric at the moment. I mean, I've got fabric, but it's all very similar. It's all the same, larger amounts of the same fabric or tiny amounts of different fabrics. So I think that's me for now, guys, today. It's getting really cold out here and dark. It's not that late, I don't think, but I just sat down and I shouldn't have, because I'm so sore after doing all this therapy today. It's only 4 o'clock, so it shouldn't be this dark. It doesn't normally get dark till 7, 8 o'clock now with daylight saving. But yeah, it's overcast, it's rainy, it's cold. So I think it's time to look at this moth that just came. Oh, it was on my fingertip. Just flew away. Hang on. No, can't show you. It was very prettily marked. Is that even a word? Prettily? Okay. I think I'll leave it at that for now. I don't think we achieved a lot today, unfortunately, but I hope that you may have found some inspiration or some, I don't know, something. Hopefully I've helped you with some ideas or inspiration in some way or another. Don't know if I'll be able to get on tomorrow. I've got an appointment tomorrow, which is quite a drive away. And it usually takes a bit out of me, so don't know if I'll get on tomorrow, but I'll try. I should get some stitching done in the meantime, so hopefully I'll have some progress to show you tomorrow, or next time anyway. In the meantime, I hope you're well, be safe, and be kind to each other, and see you next time.